Let's bring in retired NYT Inspector Paul Morrow. He's the writer of the Ops Desk newsletter, and you were there with Lawrence Jones.
Right.
And from your perspective, there's a new area for you. You haven't been there before. You worked in New York City for your career. Sure. So what did you see there that gave you any sort of idea of what might have happened?
So the best way I could describe the atmosphere in town is that you have this very idyllic, historic college town nestled in the foothills of the Rockies, and the atmosphere is like evil has come to town. Okay, it's very incongruous to see something like this happen there, and you can see it affecting the community. As Dan said, you see a lot of support. You see, they're on edge. You see a lot of 911 calls, but you see a lot of support. You see signs everywhere to support the victims, etc. But what you also see are the flyers everywhere from Moscow PD asking for help with the investigation.
Okay, you were out there with Lawrence Jones. Lawrence had this on Saturday night. Just want to play a clip of this. This is with Aaron Snell there. He works with the communications department in Idaho State.
Can you tell me who was targeted, or were there multiple people that were targeted during that incident? We believe that this was targeted. We have not come out and said it's targeted to one person or to multiple people. That's all part of that investigation that ultimately will come out. But just right now, it's pretty pertinent to our investigation.
Trying to parse words here in language.
Yeah.
What do you hear on that?
So targeted, all right, so what I mean, there's been a lot of focus on that. I can tell you, without having any inside information other than what's public, that from my estimation, Lawrence and I walked the area, and to be in that area where this house is, you got to want to be there. It's not something that you just happened upon. It's kind of remote. You got to go up this hill. The house is nestled against the hill, and it's a very nested area. There's a lot of student housing around there. They're kind of all jumbled together on top of each other. There's a lot of undergrowth. It's not as wooded as it looks online, but there's a lot of undergrowth that could potentially hide, let's say, where the murder weapon might be, okay? There's no cameras. We canvassed the area for cameras. We don't see any cameras, Lawrence and I. But it's interesting to me, some of the things that we found out from the press office and from Moscow PD. They did do a grid search. They deployed a dog in that area to look for the weapon and maybe an escape route by the perp. Not all the DNA is back, so that's a hopeful sign. They may still be able to develop something off of that. And I do think that the forensics are starting to come back. You see an updated timeline. They're getting that from some of the stuff they're getting off of Kaylee's phone, which we learned that they're into. And I think they also probably have pulled the Wi-Fi logs. If you look online, you can see one of Kaylee's TikTok videos is still up. You can see a Wi-Fi route, what appears to be a Wi-Fi router in the background. Mm-hmm. So I assessed that the house likely had a Wi-Fi. You can get those logs relatively easily. And so right now, I think it's, for lack of a better term, it's a battle of wills. You have this team of investigators who are going through the minutia of these data points. And you have somebody out there who is a stone psychopath. He thinks he can outlast them. He's not breaking. And my money's on the good guys. I think that they're going to be able to pull this off.
The trail is not cold.
I don't think so. I don't think you can call this a cold case by any stretch at this point.
Paul Morrow, thanks for going out there with Lawrence Jones. It was a good show on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
What news story is this guy following? He says that this is not a cold case at all. I think this is a frozen case. Let's get the job done. Let's stop talking already. We've got families that deserve answers. We've got an entire community on edge. Let's get this job done.